Good morning, listeners of Hot Topic and Fresh News. This Friday, the 25th of November, 2023, we have some pressing news to discuss. North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, has reportedly reviewed images from their newly unveiled spy satellite, images said to be from key regions in South Korea, including Seoul, and military bases in Pyeongtaek, Osan, Mokpo, and Gunsan. The satellite also captured images of U.S. military installations in Hawaii, including Pearl Harbor and an Air Force base in Honolulu. Earlier in the week, North Korea announced the successful launch of this military spy satellite, named Jong-1. However, South Korean analysts are skeptical about the authenticity of this claim. This development has strained the already tense relationship between North and South Korea, leading to the suspension of a 5-year-old military pact aimed at de-escalation. Significantly, the satellite launch has been condemned by South Korea and its allies, including the White House, which has dubbed it a brazen violation of UN sanctions. Despite the backlash, Kim Jong-un celebrated the launch, describing it as a heralding a new era of a space power and justified it as an act of self-defense. These are the key developments of this story, and we will delve into the details later in the program. Stay tuned to Hot Topic and Fresh News. Good morning, listeners. As always, it's your host, Emily Norma here.
And joining her today, it's David.
Same time every day, here on Hot Topic and Fresh News. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the hot topics.
Now that we have this information, can you tell us more about the significance of these so-called target regions in South Korea?
Certainly. These reported target regions include crucial locations such as the capital, Seoul, and other areas like Pyeongtaek, Osan, Mokpo, and Gunsan, where South Korean and U.S. military bases are situated. This suggests that North Korea's satellite has been focusing on strategically important sites.
Could you elaborate on the skepticism from South Korean analysts about the functioning of this satellite, the Jong-1?
South Korean analysts are questioning the veracity of North Korea's claims. They argue that it's too early to determine if the satellite is even operational, as its functionalities or capabilities have not been independently verified.
What has been the impact of this satellite launch on the tense relationship between the two Koreas?
The launch has exacerbated the already tense situation. North Korea completely suspended a 5-year-old military pact aimed at easing tensions, and South Korea partially followed suit. The increasing hostility threatens the peace and stability of the region.
We've seen strong condemnation from South Korea and its allies. What's their stance?
They've described North Korea's actions as a brazen violation of United Nations sanctions, warning that it could destabilize the region. The launch has also prompted trilateral talks between South Korea, Japan, and China, the first since 2019.
Despite this backlash, Kim Jong-un celebrated the launch. What's his justification?
He sees the launch as an assertion of North Korea's right to self-defense and a step towards becoming a space power. Despite international condemnation, Kim Jong-un remains defiant, adding another layer of complexity to this situation.
Moving forward, it's been reported that images were taken of the U.S. military installations, including the naval base at Pearl Harbor and an Air Force base in Honolulu. What can we infer from this?
It shows that North Korea's surveillance is not limited to the Korean Peninsula. By capturing images of U.S. military installations, it signifies that its surveillance capabilities extend beyond regional borders, reaching as far as the Pacific Ocean state of Hawaii.
How does this development contribute to the ongoing tension between North Korea, South Korea, and their allies?
It certainly adds fuel to the fire. The fact that North Korea is conducting surveillance on U.S. installations implies a potential threat and certainly ratchets up the tension, not only between the two Koreas but also involving the United States.
Could you elaborate on the significance of the trilateral talks between South Korea, Japan, and China?
These talks are a major development. It demonstrates that North Korea's actions are pushing regional powers to come together to address the situation. It's the first time since 2019 that South Korea, Japan, and China are holding such talks, reflecting the seriousness of the current situation.
Lastly, what can be deduced from North Korea's claim of this being a step towards becoming a space power?
North Korea is making a bold assertion about its ambitions. While the international community perceives this as a potential threat, Kim Jong-un projects it as a step towards scientific advancement and expansion into space. This stark difference in perception only adds to the complexity of the situation. What a fascinating discussion we've had today on Hot Topic and Fresh News. I want to thank all our listeners for joining us as we delved into the intricate web of geopolitics surrounding North Korea's latest satellite launch. Remember, our understanding of the world expands with every conversation, so subscribe, click the notification bell, and share our podcast with anyone who loves to stay informed. And we'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment.
Absolutely, your comments are the highlight of our day. And hey, if you're ever lost in a jungle of news, remember, we're here to be your compass. We've got some exciting topics coming up, so make sure you don't miss out. Remember, we're here every day, rain or shine.
We're grateful for your support and can't wait to bring you more in-depth analyses.
Yes, we're already gearing up for the next episode. So, stay tuned, and don't forget our golden catchphrase. DAV Belvoir, stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.